Hello everyone, this is Gruesome Herzog.
I'm Little Groom.
We are at the Fantastic Horror Film Festival. It's Saturday. Our special guest is JJ Perez. He's the filmmaker of the film Beneath. It is his first film. JJ, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Great. It's nice meeting you here. And like I said, this is your first trip to the horror festival here in San Diego?
Yes, my first trip to San Diego.
So what do you think so far?
Well, the festival is awesome. I've enjoyed some of the films I've seen. The city's beautiful. Flying in here was amazing.
Yeah.
The scenery's great.
Yeah, as you know, I don't even know this, but this is my third trip here to San Diego for the festival, and it's Little Gru's first time here. But it seems like this town of San Diego alone, I'm from the East Coast in Lancaster County, so it's quite different. You know,
Yes.
we're in the West Coast, and you had to adjust to the time difference and stuff, but I love the palm trees here. I love the atmosphere. Now, there's some crazy drivers here, but that's everywhere. But coming to this festival, my first time and second time, and now this third time, is there's a lot of filmmakers that return every year. If they ain't got a film, they'll come in and just come in to visit. And I made a lot of friends here, you know, new ones, and also it's kind of cool though. Since I've been reviewing films for 10 years, I would talk to people on the you know, doing the reviews for them, and then actually meeting them. It's like it's a full circle. You, young man, you came in here this morning, or was it this morning or was it yesterday? I cannot remember.
This morning.
This morning.
Yeah.
And you had this card in it Beneath, and I seen it's going to be playing tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I'll definitely be sitting down with you and check it out and watch it with you.
What was your intentions when you tried to make this film?
My intentions? I just wanted to get out and make a film because I've always had this passion to be a filmmaker ever since I was like maybe 5 years old or something like that. I've always loved horror films and I always wanted to make them. And I recently had a kind of a push to actually make something when I met my favorite director. His name's Adam Green.
Oh, you met him?
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. I went to one of his tour stops and saw his new movie, Victor Crowley, and just seeing that movie and then
We saw that.
hearing the story of how it was all made and how it was the lowest budget that he's ever had, yet it looked like it was his biggest, and I just love the story behind it. And you know, he gave me advice. You know, I had kind of lost the passion a little bit, and he told me to keep going. And you know, your family and friends can tell you over and over again to just do it, just go make the thing. But whenever your hero tells you to do it, that's whenever you kind of like, all right, I have to do this. So that's kind of where it got started. And then the following week I started to write, and I was like, okay, so where can I make a movie? What's an easy location to do? And I work at a cavern outside Austin, Texas.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, well, wouldn't it be awesome to have a horror film in our cavern? I mean, I have the location, and they'll probably give it to me for cheap, if not free, which they did give it to me for free.
Nice.
Which was amazing. The only thing is, they don't really allow film productions in that cavern. Big-time directors. One was Robert Rodriguez. He tried to make a movie there, and they told him no, because they want to protect the cave.
Right.
So the only way they let us is because every single cast member, every single crew member is an employee of this cavern. So that was the whole reason that they let us.
Oh, wow.
So
that's true? Every cast member in this film is actually...
Every cast member, every crew member is an employee of this cavern.
That's amazing.
And I was worried about it, but it all worked out in the end, because these guys, we kind of entertain people every single day, hundreds of people on these tours. You know, we tell jokes, we just entertain people throughout the tour, and it's kind of acting in a way. So they kind of used that, incorporated it into their acting. So it worked out in the end. I think they did a pretty good job, and now they're up for Best Actor and Best Actress here at Fantastic Horror Film Festival. So.
Now, the ones are up for it, was this their first time acting?
First time, yeah, all of them.
No shit.
Yeah.
What was your budget goal for your film?
Yeah, this was my first film, so I had no idea how much this was going to cost. Thankfully, the location was free, and I I couldn't really pay the actors. I paid them with pizza or burgers or chicken or whatever that they got paid with food, but not actual money. But I fed them every night. We did 23 nights of filming.
Wow.
Yeah. So fed them every time, and besides that, I had to buy all, the equipment, the props, the makeup, the equipment, the camera, because I'm new to this, so I had to get a camera, all that stuff. So it came out to almost five grand to make this, and then another $5,000 to put it into festivals and travel to go to them. So,
well, to finish this up, I'm going to ask you one question. Besides this festival, where else has it played?
So far,
and the reception of it, how'd it go?
So far, we have been into 19 festivals in 13 states.
No shit.
And it's gone much further than I ever thought that it would. Every single screening, there's such a great reaction. People are just screaming and then laughing, because it is sort of a horror comedy. So there's people laughing throughout the whole movie, and
well, key factor. See, a smart filmmaker making a film, you cannot go into making a serious film if you ain't got the budget or the talent. Well, not so much talent, I guess it is, but it's mostly the budget. Because if you try to go serious, it looks corny as hell.
Right.
But when you can make a movie, like you said, into a comedy, it kind of makes an excuse.
Yeah.
Not being ignorant, but there's a way that you can make it funny. And you said it. People laughed. Now, I got to say this. Just hearing your story right now, I am totally impressed. You made a film. It's everyone's baby. Every film is someone's baby.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to start it and finish it. And to be able to pull off what you did and thinking, well, okay, I'm going to gamble here. I'm going to get people that I work with that might not know how to act. But we don't know, so let's try this.
Yep.
And you pulled it off. Now, I'm anxious to really see it. We're going to watch it tomorrow morning with you. I'm really anxious to check this out. And then, of course, we're going to do a review down the road when I get back east.
Yes.
It's going to be on all the formats. This here will be too on iTunes, Stitcher, any format, Spotify. You can catch it there, and we'll let you know when it's up. We're going to do some audio clips here at the festival, but I do want to thank you for stepping in and sitting down with us, and we can continue on having a great time here. But I'm really, really, really proud of you. For being your first film like that, and being able to get the reception that you got. Now, I must say this to you. Knowing that you pulled this off with they're actors now, okay?
Yeah.
But now that you know that you pulled it off on a gamble, so now on your next film, you have a better idea. This is a learning stone for you.
Absolutely.
It's either going to be a hit or a miss, but you just gambled and you won. So that has to give you some encouragement, thinking, fuck, if I pulled it off on this, do you imagine if I actually had the budget? So you have to be really excited about that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know my next film's going to be better, because I had no idea what I was doing when I was making this film. I was learning as I was going.
And that's the way to do it.
So I know the next one's going to be better. And if I have some money behind it, heck yes, it's going to be better. So,
what was that full feature film back in a couple years ago that was a bigger budget that was in the caves? What was that called? Do you remember?
The Descent?
Yes. I watched both of them, and I was so intrigued. Now, I haven't seen Beneath.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the same thing, nothing. But to be able to have it in the caverns like that, and being in pitch black, and you see that green.
It's very, very difficult. Every single cast member got hurt at least once. It was definitely a challenge. Everybody got their heads hit from the ceiling, or we went crashing into walls, falling on the ground, and I mean, it was definitely a challenge. And then you said lighting. That was definitely a challenge, because how do you light a cave?
But not having the proper lights in the caves makes it more spookier, more found footage type that you cannot recover if you have lights.
Right.
So I'm really anxious to see this tomorrow. Me and Little Grow are, and again, I want to thank you for sitting down with us, and you just keep up the great work. I'm anxious to see it.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are at the Fantastic Horror Film Festival with J.J. Perez. We just watched his screening of Beneath. The interview that you heard yesterday, we're talking about it as far as his fellow co-workers doing this film, and they weren't actors, but we watched it and had a good showing, and I'm quite impressed with it.
I found that movie pretty great, as in recording-wise. I think it was shot very well.
Now, as far as the creature in the film, basically the storyline is there's some cult leaders back in 60. What was it, JJ? 63?
66.
66, yeah. So what happened was it starts off with a movie where they were sacrificing this young kid in this cavern of where JJ works. If you listen to the first part of it. So what happens is, as a gag, a bunch of friends that work at this cavern decided to have a Halloween party and to try and dismiss the so-called legend. They woken up. Is it Arkin?
Arkin, yes.
And Arkin was a Slender Man type character, which I thought it was pretty cool because did you not say that this was actually, you started filming this and in the middle of the filming, the trailer came out for the actual Slender Man movie?
Yes, so I wanted to make a Slender Man-esque type of character because there had never been a Slender Man movie. And then, of course, in the middle of filming, the trailer to the Slender Man movie comes out, and we're like, damn, well, of course.
But what we talked about yesterday, I mean, I've watched easily over maybe 5,000 movies in 10 years of reviewing as Gruesome Herzog, and I've seen all types of low-budget films, no-budget films. But what I find, like we talked about yesterday, and I'll keep repeating myself, is what I find amazing is how you wrote the parts for your coworkers to fit their personalities.
Yes. So because I couldn't get actors because they had to be employees in order for us to film, I wanted them to be more comfortable playing these parts. So I decided, hey, well, I'm just going to write it specifically for the people that I want. So in a way, they kind of play themselves, but more of like a parody of themselves. It's kind of them, but times 10, maybe.
Kevin Vincent, you can tell. Now, is that actually the way he is? And you said 10 times. He seems...
Yeah, so... Okay, so him... So that character is very, like, douchebaggy. Like, very... He's an ass.
Yeah. We all have one.
So his real name is Neil, and Neil is not an ass. He's a very nice guy, but he kind of has that look, like just the look of him. So I decided, hey, all right, so I'm gonna make him the douche. I think he can pull off a backwards hat and like a like, you know, short like gym shorts, like douchebag type guy. So
again, what I find is how, because they all work together, you already have the chemistry already started.
Yes.
When you cast a film and you have a bunch of actors coming from California or Chicago or Pennsylvania, you have to be able to have them be able to mend together and have the chemistry. It happened here is because you guys know each other.
Yes, and we know
the
each other for a while.
The chemistry was easy to do.
Yes.
I liked how dark it was. Like in the cave, you guys, I wouldn't say barely lit it, but it was lit enough to the point where it was spooky, and it was enough so you can see what's happening.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It was difficult lighting the thing. It's a cave, so how do you light a cave? It's supposed to be dark. Another thing is there was no power in that part of the caves, no electricity. So what the heck do we do? You can't have a generator down there because you can't have gas going in a small space like that, and it also damages the formations
And the sounds.
and the sounds and all that stuff. So I had to I bought this $400 camping battery, and it had one outlet on it, and we just plugged one studio light, put some blue gels on it, and try to match the flashlight light that the characters had, and that's all we worked with was one single studio light.
Now, you mentioned about the lights. Now, I don't see a problem with the lighting at all. I mean, if you're in a cave like that, you have to make it look real.
Right.
Understandably, we have an Indian Echo Caverns up in my way in Pennsylvania, so
Right.
where you can go in. It's the same place that you're at. I mean, if you would make it, it has to be well lighted for insurance reasons for customers to come in there.
Yes.
But when you're shooting a film like this, it has to be exactly how you have it. This is the area that was never been at before. So if it's well lighted, why would nobody ever go into that area? So
Exactly.
I think that's clever with the lighting of this film.
Thank
now,
you.
again, I've watched many films, and this what's nice about it is we heard the backstory, which they haven't, not until we posted, but we heard the backstory, and being able to sit and watch it, it makes sense. I mean, just by the way you were talking yesterday, I was like, wow, I need to see this.
Yeah.
But after watching it, I'm thinking, damn, this kid pulled this off. JJ, you pulled it off. I mean, it just, the security guard.
Yeah.
Is he a security guard for the company that you work for, or is he just like a regular employee?
He was a regular employee. We don't actually have a security guard at the cave, but I wanted to have like a goofy character that wasn't very good at his job, and Bradford is kind of a goofy guy, not to that extent, but he's he definitely played his part very well, and he actually had a little bit of acting experience. He actually did a bunch of Lay's commercials in the 70s.
Oh, really?
So yeah, he had a little bit of acting. He's done a ton of plays too. So
how about the boss?
The boss was our boss, yes, in the movie. So whenever I actually, went up to her, I was like, hey, I have this script that I wrote, and I really want to make a film here. If you want to check it out, if you want to read it, let me know. I would really love to make this. And then I was like, there's a part in this for you if you want. If you say yes, I have a little part for you. So, I gave her
bribery works.
Yeah. So she was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to do this. So I did give her a little part in it, and she plays the manager of the cave.
And it wasn't hard for her because she is the boss.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, the chemistry that you've built on this, it was pretty. I mean, not everybody can act, but
right.
You worked them to their abilities and to their personalities, and made it 10 times the fold, like you mentioned.
Yes.
I mean, I really, really enjoyed this one. I really did.
Thank you very much.
Have you guys ever explored that part in the cave before, or was that your first time?
Oh no, we know up and down. We know the cave up and down. I mean, we go through there all the time. So that part of the cave in the movie is the restricted area of the cave, but in reality, there's tours that go through that. We call it our intermediate tour because there's no power in that part of the cave, so we have to give everybody a flashlight. But it's an actual trail that people can do, so we know it very well. If you know the cave, when you watch the movie, the scenes don't make sense because it jumps everywhere. But as a normal person that doesn't know the cave, I made it look like it's deep into the cavern.
Yeah.
Miles into the cave or whatever, and they're lost.
Now, when you first started there, did anybody ever get lost in that cave who just started there?
Sometimes, yeah, whenever we have new employees, sometimes when they're on that tour specifically that we filmed on, they do get turned around sometimes. I never did, because I always like to pay attention to my surroundings and know where I'm going.
Right.
So.
And the killer?
The guy who played the monster actually played a human role in the movie as well. He played the character of Derek, which is the maintenance guy. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so he played 2 parts in that.
Nice. Yeah, it was kind of funny how Derek overheard the conversation, and you would think, I mean, it's a movie, so you can't make the kids realize that he heard the conversation.
Yeah.
But it's like the boss says, "Do you want a promotion? Do this," and that obviously. The ending of the film, I thought was clever because you turned it to where he thinks that he's seeing, and it was actually the security guard. But
yes,
amazing. I mean, I'm just blown away about an actor myself. It was just perfectly done. I mean, you said to me after we seen it, we walked outside, and you said to me that it looked grainy. Grainy made that movie more impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's a cave.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that grainy feel in some films because it gives it that rugged. But I didn't see it myself. I mean, I've seen tons of films. I didn't recognize it. What I was more focused on is the scenery, the background, the storyline, the characters. How's he going to pull this off? And then it just led one step, and I'm just totally blown away by it. I really am.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I look at films a little bit differently only because I'm in the business. So a normal person, like we talked about, well, I don't know if I did or not, but a normal person who has never even set foot on the stage or never set foot on a scene, in a movie, how it's being filmed, will have no idea how much blood, sweat, and tears it makes to make a film.
Oh yeah, we had literal blood, sweat, and tears in this film, and during filming, I didn't know, but I made somebody cry, not like fake crying. Somebody actually cried because they got fake blood in their eye and didn't say anything. So the entire time we're trying to shoot this scene, they just didn't say anything and just took it like a champ. But after taking some prosthetics off, there was just tears all under it, and I was like, "Why didn't you say anything?"
Yeah.
But they were just being awesome sports and trying to act the best they could. And as far as the blood, we actually did get cuts and bruises and possible concussions making this movie. So actual blood, sweat, and tears. The sweat part, it's hot in the cave. People think the caves are cold. Not in Texas, they're not. So we're always sweaty down there.
Now, real quickly before we let you go, there's in the beginning of the movie, there's the gentleman that was the leader. Mm-hmm. Who's he now?
So his name is John Parnell, and she does work at the cavern. He's a tour guide there, does it every day. But he has this certain deep voice.
Yep.
And that is his voice. So I was like, this guy looks perfect. And he has like this long, salt and pepper hair. And it just looked perfect for a cult leader. And with the voice,
and it threw it.
Yeah.
He threw it. Now, I did notice, now the guy in the middle.
He is actually one of our managers. He's another manager at the cave. He doesn't have a big part in the beginting, but
right.
it's actually a very important character, and when you watch the movie, you'll find out. You'll find out at the end why he's important. But he's still at the cave as well. I mean, most of them are.
I'm just amazed. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
Just about how you talked yesterday when we talked and when we seen it. It's like people. I mean, for film watchers out there that doesn't really watch too much of independent films, a lot of people go to Netflix. They get their movies from Netflix, or they'll go to the Red Box. I mean, not all Red Box films are big budget. There's some independent films in there as well. But for you guys to see this film, you definitely got to see it. I'm sure it's going to be out there somewhere. I mean, it's on. Where's it at right now?
So right now it is not available yet because some film festivals don't allow it to be out to the public. If they are, you're disqualified. So because of that, we're not putting it out just yet. But we're getting close. We're getting close to the end of the festival run. Right now we're in 19 festivals in 13 states so far.
Nice.
It's incredible. But we're getting to the bottom of the barrel at this point. We're anticipating a Blu-ray, iTunes, Amazon, whatever VOD release sometime in spring 2020. But for now, you can follow the movie on Facebook and Instagram. It's at Beneath Cave Film, and you can check out the trailer, check out where it's playing at the moment, see if it's playing anywhere close by, and just follow it. And we'll definitely put it on there whenever it's ready to be released, when it's coming out, all that stuff.
All right, so there was one more question I had. While watching the movie, I noticed that they went into this cathedral-like area of the cave, and there was stairs, and I think there was 2 sand-like boxes.
Yes. So those are actually in the cave. Those are not added set pieces that we built. Apparently, back in the late 60s and early 70s, there used to be Freemason meetings in that room. So those 2 rectangular pits that are in just there, they originally didn't have sand in them. I don't know what, I guess it was just the cave floor on the bottom of them, but around these 2 rectangular pits are 3 platforms. One's a really tall one, and then there's 2 small ones, and they all completely surround these 2 rectangular pits. So it looks extremely culty. We have no idea what was going on in there, but it looks very sacrificial. We're not saying that it's actual sacrificial, but it's definitely where I got the inspiration to do like this cult thing, or the cult aspect added to the movie. So I just thought it'd be perfect to use that and use it as the opening scene. So the 1966 opening scene that you see, that's when the cave was actually opened to the public. So I decided to use that year, and that's whenever apparently the Freemason meetings were going on. So It is loosely, very loosely inspired by true events.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming in here again. I just wanted to have a sit down and have like a Q&A with. It was again an impressive film.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome. Thank you.
No problem.